Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. As a small business owner, we do much more than just, installing the rainwater drainage systems. We maintain our vehicles as well. This is a 2018 Chevy Express. We've got almost 200,000 miles on there, and we change this oil very regularly, about every 3,000 miles. If you remember some of the previous videos, we've also got a 2008 Chevy Express. It's a 3500. It's got 550,000 miles on it. And you change that oil and you can make that thing run and run and run and run. So we're going to change this oil here. This is a 2500, Chevy Express 2500. We're going to use Valvoline, and that's what I love to use. We're also going to use that Fram filter, which just so many people just don't like. But you know what? I've been using Fram the whole time and it has no problems. Let's take a look. So I really do like the Valvoline product. This is a synthetic blend, but this truck takes 6 quarts, so we've got 5 quarts there, and we've got another 1 quart to put in when we get to that point. But I do like to use the Fram filter, and yeah, this is an ultra synthetic, so it's a little bit more expensive, but this stuff works so good. I mean, so good. No matter what somebody else is saying out there on the web or the YouTube, Fram makes a great filter. Let's go down underneath the truck and get started. Okay, I'm using a 15 millimeter socket and the extension because we need to really pop it. There we go. And it breaks right loose. Then we're going to let it drain into our oil pan. And guys, don't forget, when you dump this oil, take it and get it recycled. Don't just dump it out there on the ground. That's something that you don't want to do. So let's go ahead and unscrew this nut. I usually just use the ratchet to get it a little bit loose, and then I can use my fingers. Remember also that if you just drove your vehicle, your truck or your car, your van, this oil is going to be hot. So let me pull this back a little bit so I can catch it. You can see it's going to come out of there, and just let it pour right out. Keep your nut to the side. We're going to let that pour out. Then we're going to go on the other side of the engine, and we'll take that oil filter down, take it off, and change that as well. Always change that filter and do it each time that you work on your vehicle. Okay, you can see our filter. The only thing I don't like about the Chevy design is that when we break this filter loose, that oil just pours straight down onto the ground. Yeah, we're going to pull our oil pan over here to help catch that, but it sure makes a mess. You can wear gloves, that helps, but you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second. So the way the oil filter wrench works, it's like a band, and it tightens up on as you pull the lever here, it's going to tighten up, and then you can unscrew something. So it's a little slippery here. I'm trying to do it with one hand, so I've already got it broke loose, and you can see as soon as you twist that, see how much oil starts to drop? That's what I'm talking about, where I don't really like that idea. However, it does allow all the debris to drop directly down into that filter, which works really good. We're gonna let that drain for a second, and then we'll pull that off. So before you put this filter up on there, it's a good idea to get a little of the old oil and smooth it around on this O-ring. Smooth that oil right around that O-ring so that it creates a nice seal, and it's easy for you to take this back off again. So now we're ready to install. Go ahead and start it up onto the nut, the threaded portion, spin it hand tight. That's actually enough, but we're going to go ahead and tighten it up about 3/4 of a turn around. Let me get this filter up on there, or the wrench. We're just going to give it a little bit of a turn. Perfect. That's perfect. Now we can go ahead and put the oil plug back in, and we can go ahead and fill this up just that quick. Okay, next, final thing underneath the truck is to go ahead and put this nut back in to secure it. We'll tighten that up with our hand, and then we'll use a 15 millimeter socket to just tighten it up securely. Just hand tight, then your socket. Then using your wrench, just go ahead and snug it up nice and tight. You don't want to over tighten this, just get it tight. There we go. Go ahead and wipe that down, and that way you can check for a drip if there's a drip. after you start your engine and add the oil. So yeah, let's go ahead and fill this up, then we'll start the engine. We'll check for the drip down. Okay, you can see this truck calls for 5W30, and that's what we're using. We're using the Valvoline 5W30. We're going to go ahead and pull this cap off. This actually doesn't screw on here, it just kind of twists and locks in place. Always remember to use your handy dandy funnel from Walmart. It's about 88 cents. And then we're going to go ahead and slowly add our oil, because it's a very small tube, so it's just very slow that you add the oil. We're going to add this 5 quarts, and then we'll add the last quart, which makes 6 quarts. This truck calls for 6 quarts plus the filter. Then finally, go ahead and put your oil cap back on, and we're done. Let's go ahead and start the truck, and we'll check for leaks. Okay, let's start this thing up and show you the mileage here in just a second. Yeah, we know all those, you can see all the little things that tell you, change engine oil soon. That's because we were right at the bottom of that, so we're going to go ahead and change that. See, there was 0 life remaining, but we just put it in, so we're going to reset that. Now we have the 99%, and that's measured at 3,000 miles on the truck's odometer, so it kind of always helps you keep that going. But anyways, let's take a look here. I want you to see. So we've got 179,000, 180,000 miles on this truck. Remember that the 2008, which we still run every day, has 550, almost 560,000 miles, and we use Valvoline. Let's go down below and take a look for drips, and we're done. A lot of people just change that oil and they never really come down and take a look. I always take a look to see if there's a drip, to make sure we've got it good and secure, and we're in great shape, so we're all done. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day. So coming up next, Sideshow Bob. This is a fictional character from somewhere up north that just loves to slander Apple Drains.
Bonjour, bonjour. I'm Sideshow Bob, and only I can build a French drain. I'm Sideshow Bob. Don't use a catch basin like Apple Drain says. It saves you so much money. Only my way works. Only I can build a French drain. Do not listen to Apple Drain. He will save you money. Last year I did 8 jobs. Apple Drains did 300 jobs. I tried to discredit all the contractors. No one does it right but me. I tell the DIY, you must use excavator. Oh, but now I have trencher. I tell all the DIYs, you must buy my pipe. Only my pipe will work. I have all the psychedelic pipe. Look at the colors. But I cannot sell. Maybe I do too many drugs.